Hello, teacher and classmates. The news that has impacted me in the last month has been the eruption of the volcano La Palma in the Canary Islands in Spain. The entire Canary archipelago is of volcanic origin. It is an active volcanism with relatively frequent historical eruptions. Specifically, some of the last ones have occurred in La Palma, so it is considered one of the islands with the highest eruptive probability. What past eruptions have taught us? Based on the knowledge of past eruptions allow us to assume what future eruptions may be like. The different possible eruption scenarios and associated risks have been well known for years. For example, it was considered probable, as it has finally been, that this erosion will be similar to that of Teneguía in 1971 or San Juan in 1949. The forecast allowed us to have protocols and tools to act in the face of the different eruptive scenarios that are considered likely to occur. In addition, in the Canary Islands in general and in La Palma in particular, the population is aware of the volcanic nature of its territory and knows the associated risks. In this sense, public and private educational and research institutions have played a very important role in the dissemination of volcanism, its risk, and the steps that the population should follow in each case. For example, behavior in case of seismic movements, preparation in case of evacuation, etc. We still cannot predict when there will be another eruption. At present, with the level of knowledge available to us, it is not possible to predict when or at what specific point an erosion will occur, neither how it will develop. However, as we have seen in La Palma, the permanent monitoring of different precursors of activity like geophysical, geodetic, geochemical, etc., allows not only warning of the imminence of a possible eruptions, but even to determine the movements of magma beneath the surface and estimate in which area it could occur. This was unthinkable many years ago. Also, this eruption is not exceptional in the context of recent volcanism in the Canary Islands, and possibly does not represent a significant advance in current methods of volcanic predictions. It has allowed us to confirm that, indeed, knowing the characteristics and how activity has developed in the past is the key to predicting how future eruptions may develop. On the other hand, it is allowing us to test the protocols of action and prevention, which were not available in previous eruptions in La Palma. This will allow improving them for future volcanic events. The recent news said that the lava from the volcano of the island of La Palma in the Canary Island, Spain, which erupted on September 19th, reached the Atlantic Ocean on Tuesday 28th at night. It has since created a platform some 500 meters wide and a huge steam plume, causing concern about its possible toxicity. Authorities have asked the population of San Borondón, Marina Alta, Marina Baja, and La Condesa to confine themselves to their homes, and navigation has been banned. Television images show a river of lava falling from a cliff into the water and producing a large cloud of smoke. The wind has favored the dispersion of the vapor column and gases that experts are analyzing to verify whether they are harmful. When the lava reaches the sea, the enclosure must be strictly observed, warned on Tuesday Miguel Ángel Morcuende, director of the Response Committee of the Canary Islands Volcanic Emergency Plan. As the mayor of the coastal town Tazacorte, Juan Miguel Rodríguez Acosta, told the media that the lava has blocked all roads leading to the south of the island and the residents within 2 kilometers around have been evacuated. Already since September 27th, the authorities had ordered the confinement of 3 coastal towns in a view of the imminent arrival of lava into the sea. So, questions appear. Why is it toxic? When lava from a volcano like La Palma comes into contact with salt water, explosion and emulsion of noxious gases can occur. When the magma touches the sea, large columns of water vapor will form because a large part of the seawater will vaporize. This is due to the great thermal contrast between the two. The lava has a temperature of more than 900 degrees, while the water is about 23 degrees. José Mangas, professor of geology at the University of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, explained it to BBC Mundo a few days ago. These gases can cause irritation to the skin, eyes, and respiratory tract. It is also feared that parts of the coast could collapse and cause explosions. Since the Cumbre Vieja volcano erupted on Sunday, September 19th, lava had destroyed hundreds of houses and numerous banana crops. In addition, more than 6,000 people have been evacuated. Some experts fear that the eruption could last several weeks or even months. How many active volcanoes are there in the world? Without a doubt, Europe has become the center of volcanic activity in the world. The awakenings of Etna in Italy and Cumbre Vieja in La Palma have put the whole continent on alert because of the lava that sweats the ground and the ashes that clothe the atmosphere. It is such an unusual sight in Spain that several generations had only seen similar scenes in movies. Also, it is true that one no doubts that spectacular nature of the images. They have little to do with the image seen, for example, in the film adaptations of the Pompeii catastrophe. According to a recent study, there are 1,359 active volcanoes around the world, and so far this year there have been about 70 eruptions. Undoubtedly, the hottest area in terms of volcanic activity is the so-called Ring of the Fire, also known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. Its 40,000 kilometer extension concentrates 75% of the Earth's volcanoes. Among the dozen of territories included in it are the mountainous area of western Argentina, Colombia, some areas of the United States, Russian islands, Japan, and New Zealand. But undoubtedly, the country marked in red is Indonesia. In addition to period eruptions, this volcanic activity is accompanied by earthquakes. To find those with the most active eruptions, one must go to Guatemala, Fuego Volcanos, and Indonesia, Semeru. Also Ecuador, Reventado and Sangay, and the Western Andes, Sabancaya, Ampato, and Hualca Hualca. Seeing this news makes us wonder what is the state of activity of our volcanoes, especially those located in Arequipa. Since a few years ago, they present a little bit of activity. Volcanic activity in our country. In the south of Peru, 16 volcanoes have been identified as active and potentially active, and more than 2 million people live around them. In addition to the location of numerous infrastructure works such as airports, hydroelectric plants, dams, etc., all of which are exposed to an eventual volcanic reactivation. In the last 600 years, there have been a total of 45 explosive eruptions in 6 active volcanoes in southern Peru: Huayna Putina, Ubinas, Misti, Sabancaya, Totopaca, Tixani, which makes an average of 1 eruption every 13 years. Eruptions are also recorded from some monogenic cones in the Andagawa Valley in Arequipa. 420 years ago, Huaynaputina volcano in Moquegua started a violent eruption that had a volcanic explosivity index equal to 6 on a scale ranging from 0 to A. This eruption caused the death of about 1,500 people in the Umate and Tambo valleys and burned more than 70 villages. Another important explosive eruption, also to a lesser extent, was that of the Totopaca volcano, 1802, whose products affect the high Andean zone of the Tacna region. Recently, the eruptions of Sabancaya volcano, 1990, 1998, 2016, and part of the present, and the Ubinas volcano, 2006, 9, 13, 17, 2019, despite being mild explosive eruptions, scale ranging 1 to 2, generate considerable impacts on the environment, populations, croplands, water sources, etc. These eruptions also reveal the need to have a deep understanding of the volcanic activity occurring in southern Peru. As a result of the eruptive process of the Sabancaya volcano in 2016, the Geophysical Institute of Peru, through the National Volcanological Center, created the event called Volcanic Eruptions: Strategies for Prevention and Mitigation of Volcanic Risk. This activity seeks that society, national and international scientific institutions work together to prevent or mitigate disasters of volcanic origin. So, following the latest events in the Canary Islands, it's important to be alert and try to prevent if a similar situation occurs here in Peru. Thanks.